Euphoria, huh? If you did not know, Euphoria Season 2 has recently come to a close. And let me just say, Euphoria is taking the internet by storm. And I won't lie, I binge watch it. I was waiting every week for the new episodes to come out. Everyone's talking about it. I was excited to talk about it with people. I feel like everyone can kind of relate to Euphoria in some kind of way because, like, the trauma, the spicy trauma. That's where we all just come together and be traumatized together. So, of course, I was talking to people about Euphoria, and after it ended, season 2, the final episode after Lexi's play, if you didn't watch it, it's gonna have spoilers in it. So, like, you pause this, go binge watch Euphoria, and then come back, talk to me about it. Let's have a discussion, a civil discussion. Do not get mad at me. Let me preface all this. Do not get mad at me for what I say in this video, okay? This is just my personal opinions. I could be entirely wrong. You could disagree with me. You don't fight me. Let's talk. Me and you. You look great today, by the way. Thank you for stopping by. Love you. As I was watching the final episode of season 2, it dawned on me. Is this show actually good? Yeah, I know how that sounds. Like, of course it's good. It's got beautiful cinematography, amazing lighting. The casting is, magnifique. And it has Zendaya. Like, if anything has Zendaya in it, it's automatically good, right? Except for maybe, like, The Great Showman. But, we'll just talk about that later. It got me thinking, right? So a show, movie, whatever, is the sum of its parts. The cinematography, the actors, the casting, the everything, And I was looking at not Zendaya. Well, I was looking at Zendaya. Ooh, Zendaya. Zendaya is a goddess, and this video will be me just lusting over Zendaya and how talented she is. I was thinking, right? I was very perplexed by this because I found out that a lot of the stuff that we were watching in the final episode was decided a day or two beforehand. Like, apparently, spoiler, Fesco was supposed to die instead of Ashtray, but they changed it a day before shooting. And not only that, but that whole 4-minute song where Elliot sings to Rue, that wasn't originally in the script. That wasn't something that was planned. That was just kind of came up with. Apparently, the director, Sam Levinson, came up to Dominic and say, hey, so you're going to do this and blah, blah, blah. And he was like, wait, what? All right, sure, whatever, cool. But that just kind of confused me and kind of perplexed me because I was like, wait, okay, I can get, like, putting a song in because, like, that 4 minutes, that kind of adds 4 minutes to the show. That could mean that they needed to fill up that 4 minutes to, meet their time slot, or I don't know, it could be anything. But the fact that they decided the day before shooting to switch who dies in a show, that kind of got me thinking, where is this plot going? Now, I'm not saying that, like, Euphoria is a bad show. Not at all. I love Euphoria. It was great. And I am very excited about season 3. But I was thinking, just looking at the plot, if we are just talking about the plot, we're not talking about the beautiful cinematography, we're not talking about the lighting, we're not talking about how they take trauma and mental illness, and definitely not talking about our goddess Zendaya. Just talking about the plot, where is this going? Now, I have a list of things that I'm going to talk about. And I'm going to start with one of the biggest kind of grievances I have with the show, is Rue and her kind of story. So essentially, Rue is a drug addict, and in season 1, we see that she is actively using drugs. She's actively using, and then Jules comes into her life, and Jules helps her, detach herself from that dependency of drugs, but then she uses Jules as a new dependency. So when Jules leaves at the end of season 1, Rue goes back to being on drugs. Yeah, and I understand that that is her character. It's she's a drug addict, and it shows the harsh realities of life where she's not gonna exactly come clean. She has no plan on coming clean. She says it very clearly in the show several times. But my problem I have with that is that I almost feel like they don't have a full plot line for Rue set out just yet. It seems like they're kind of planning it out season by season, and I hope they don't do this, but I feel like they're gonna put her right back into being on drugs again, and we're just gonna see her just keep going up and down and up and down, and like, yeah, that is understandable in the reality of drug addicts, but if we just see this over and over again, and the characters also just see this over and over again, are what's gonna happen differently, you know? And that brings me to another point. Rue fucking she like has $10,000 worth of drugs flushed down the toilet, and the lady, I forgot her name, knows her name, knows that she lives in the area, knows that she goes to Euphoria High School, whatever the fuck it's called. But she finished out the school year sober. They said that at the end of season 2. I noted that. How the fuck did she do that without getting seen just out in public by any of the drug people? How did she get away from that? $10,000 in debt. And I understand that there was some notion that it is possible that she was trafficked in between episodes, whenever at the end of the episode where she was like on the run and she goes to her and they give her the morphine and all, that she woke up several days later in different clothes and everything, that she might have been trafficked. But I don't think that she would be done with her, you know? Because she did, burn her. She lost $10,000. I don't think she's just going to be like, oh, she got away. I'm going to forget about her for the rest of this school year. Like, what? Like, I don't know if we're going to see some kind of flashback to, like, oh, what happened to this lady or something? Or, like, is she just plotting something for season 3? I just don't understand it. It just felt like that plot line was there to put intensity, and then they just dropped it at the end to make a happy ending for Rue. And I kind of, trickled over this a little bit ago, but Jules. In the beginning of season 1, we get introduced to Jules, who is a trans woman who has a lot of debate with her sexuality and her gender and everything. And there was like a whole thing prior to season 2 talking about how this season's going to go over her, second guessing her gender, her sexuality, and everything. That was just flushed down the toilet with the drugs. And what we got instead was, I'm in love with you, Rue. Oh, you are everything to me. Where's Jules' plot? Where's Jules' character now? She doesn't have anything now. She's just, I love you, Rue. And let's not, mow over the fact that she fucked Elliot and no one's talking about that. We see them all several times just kind of like have small interactions, but no one says anything. Rue goes to Elliot's house, and Elliot and her have a discussion before they sing this song that, oh, I'm sorry, I forgive you, blah, blah, blah. Oh, you saved my life. Oh, yeah, by the way, I fucked the person that you said you were in love with. Oopsie. No one said anything about that. So is that going to be something else that's covered in season 3? Or are we just going to just gloss over that, act like it never happened? But I will say that this season, you got to see a lot more of Cassie and Maddie. I'd say a lot more Cassie. Cassie in season 1 was with McKay, and she gets pregnant, has an abortion and everything, and you can see her processing that. And then she goes right back to being in love with a man, Nate. Um, so she just jumps from relationship to relationship, which we can kind of see that that's supposed to be her personality or her character development, is that she has an abusive relationship with men where she depends on them to feel validation and love. And she picks Nate in this, or it just kind of stumbles together. And it's very, very confusing because she had an abortion already. Her and McKay broke up. Also, let me just say, didn't McKay get molested? McKay gets straight up pretty much molested right in front of her. And then whatever. And then we see McKay once this entire season, and then he's just dipped. They just dropped McKay. McKay's just gone. And it just doesn't make sense to me, personally, because there was so much more you could do with that. You see him at the party, and him and Nate's interaction, and then he just dips out of town, gone, bye, fuck you, whatever, I'm done. Nah, fuck this, Nate's creepy. He fucked my girl, I don't know it though, but who cares? But also, let's talk about something. Maddie. Maddie and Cassie, best friends, or were, until, Cassie fucked Maddie's ex-boyfriend, boyfriend, whatever, Nate. Maddie is babysitting. She's also being filmed in the closet with these clothes that she's trying on. And it's kind of obvious that the woman knows, and, she gives her clothing from the closet that she clearly was wearing. But Maddie is underaged. Also, let's not forget, season 1, it is very obvious that Maddie has a lot of interactions with men that is not okay, that is illegal, but no one talks about that. It's just like, oh yeah, Maddie has had sex with several men at a young age who were a lot older than her. And we just kind of see it perpetually just is a very hostile, pedophilic kind of thing that we just have Maddie going through that no one kind of says anything about. And let's not forget, Nate fucking held a gun to her? That is traumatizing. That is straight up PTSD. You'd think if she's crazy as she is, that Nate says and all this other shit, that she would say something to Kat. She would say something to somebody or do something about it. But not only does that interaction happen, but it's glossed over. Just whatever. After that, she doesn't have any sign of PTSD. She has no sign of blah, blah, blah. She just fucking looks at Nate like, And that is the most traumatizing thing that Nate could have done. Well, I mean, it's Nate, but you get my point. Oh, but let's not forget our villain, Nate. Now, I will not lie. I cannot lie. Nate is a very well-written, dynamic character. He is a sociopath at the core. He is scary. He is a threat to everyone because you never really know what he's going to do because he doesn't really care about anybody. Or so we think. It's shown that he tries to protect people. And in a sociopath's mind, it's often shown that they don't see what they're doing as wrong. They see as what they're doing as necessary to do something, which is control, which is to protect, in Nate's case, or so he says, but it's mostly control. Nate is a very confusing character because he has that whole dream sequence where he's dreaming about marrying and having a child with Cassie, which shows he loves her. But then literally not even that long after, literally as the play happens, oh, fuck this, I'm leaving you. We don't know what he wants, and it's kind of clear that that's supposed to be up in the air, because he goes to his father, who prior we thought we were never going to see again, because he did that grand entrance.
I think I'm lonely. Okay, look, can you please put your penis away?
No,
Okay, I'm not gonna ask you again. Put your penis away.
I am who I am.
And then you put him in jail. We saw the last of him. Nate puts him in jail. And also, Nate's a clear fucking liar when he says, "Oh, we don't have any I don't have any copies of Jules' sex tape." Oh, what's this? Everything. It's so confusing. There's so much in the show where it kind of shows, oh, maybe we see a little bit of development in these characters, a little bit of growth, and maybe they'll change and something happens to them. No, that doesn't happen. We get some little instances of like, oh, Nate's a traumatized little boy. Let's have some sympathy for him. Oh, he did something terrible again. Oh, Cal's a terrible person. He traumatized his son. Oh, but he's gay. Well, let's have sympathy for him. And he's leaving his family so that he can live his own life and not fuck them up or himself up further. Oh, he's going to jail now. Jules is in love with Rue. Okay, what about her and her gender identity? What about her and her sexuality? She said, oh, I don't know if I like men anymore. Oh, blah, 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 blah. It's gone. You just lost it all. And we don't see as much development in Jules anymore. And I'm very curious to see where this goes because I want to see more development from all the characters. Let's not forget about Kat. Now, Kat is interesting because Kat, you see, has some self-esteem issues in season 1, and you can see her kind of turn into this bad bitch, but doesn't exactly find value in herself exactly until she kind of, decides to be with Ethan, right? And you kind of see their development of their relationship and how he actually cares about her. Well, that's fucking dropped because, Kat's Kat, so she doesn't really like the niceness that he gives her, which I can see is alluding to her being online so much and like the kind of pushiness of men in their sexual urges online, how Ethan doesn't do that. He's very nice, kind, and caring with her, and he tries to respect her. But she doesn't want that because it's not. But we don't really see any development in her character. She kind of goes from being someone that we can sympathize for to someone who's just kind of just feeling sad for herself, and then we just kind of throw her away. I did hear about some stuff about her, the actress, Barbie, actually having some complications with the director, Sam Levinson, about her development, her character development, and he kind of was like pushing her to the side, and that's why we see less and less of her development, where she just kind of goes back to doing the cam showing, and we just don't see her development as much anymore. And I feel like that was really sad because I was actually interested in Kat's development. I liked how you could see her going from being really shy into like being more of a person for herself, but at the same time it wasn't exactly for herself. And then now we don't know. It just threw that away. You give her a little crumb of happiness at the end of season 1, and you take it away in season 2, and then we don't see further in that. We're introduced to so many plot lines that don't end, that don't have a conclusion, and I guess that's kind of realistic in the sense of that's kind of life. But at the same time, this is a show. And you see where I'm going? It doesn't feel fulfilling. It feels like they're giving us stuff, like starting plots, that aren't exactly going to end. That way they can continue on going through the show. I feel like somewhere in season 2, it was decided that, okay, let's start writing for season 3. And they took the plot lines and pushed them further back into season 3. That way they can have more show. I guess what I'm trying to say in this little analysis video is if we take away all the great acting, all the great lighting and the inspiration from art, and just all the really, really good other pieces, if we just look at the plot, where is this going? And if we don't have a very solid plot where we can fully sympathize with these characters and see them develop, is that a good show? Now, I'm not saying I'm going to stop watching Euphoria. I'm not saying it's even a bad show at all, but I'd like to discuss it a bit more. If you have any theories or any explanations for something I don't understand, feel free to leave a comment. I'd love to hear and see what people have to say about this. Maybe I just didn't understand something. Maybe I missed something, or maybe there's just something that was a bit more obvious that I didn't catch on to. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Let me know if I should do more videos like this. I enjoy them, and I'd like to analyze anything. So shows, movies, music videos. But other than that, I'll see you in the next video.